XCR 375 H&H Mag here, and this is a video response to the Prepared Minds video. Cousin, I'm coming to your house in SHTF. He asked some good questions, good video as usual, and makes one really think. Well, to answer his question, I've talked about this a lot with my wife and so forth, and we both feel that family members who look at us crazy when we say, you should be prepared for an earthquake and you should have some food on hand and some water on hand, just to try to get them acquainted with SHTF. I live in earthquake country here in Southern California, so it's important to have water, a certain amount of water, a certain amount of food on hand. I try to talk to them about this, and I get the big old blow off, like it's no big deal, and they think that the local government and the city government and county and state and federal government are going to come in and help them. Well, they've all been through the Northridge earthquake and so forth, and FEMA wasn't really much of a help. It was local businesses and local stores and stores from other areas that sent in water and food, and other businesses that stepped up to the plate and delivered supplies and so forth at locations for people to get to. So I've tried to approach family members in that perspective, and I get looked at all kooky looking, and eyes start rolling, and like, oh, maybe we should buy him a tinfoil hat. So I've gotten that a lot. So I've just given up on trying to get family members to even do a small basic prepping. And as far as I'm concerned, they're on their own. I've tried. My wife's talked to them a little bit too, and they just kind of look at us strange. So then also, if the grid goes down, my wife and I are out of here, and we're heading out to our bug out location. And I'm sorry, but we've told you even on the most basic thing, an earthquake in Southern California, which we've recently had some, they don't want to listen. So that's on them. I don't have any guilt over it, don't have any qualms about it, and everybody's situation is totally different. Back to some other questions, though. Let's say we've kind of thought about this. What kind of skill sets do my family members have? Well, and how would we bring them in? And how much food would they consume? For example, my brother is an aeronautical engineer. His wife is an eye doctor. And they have 2 kids. Okay? That's 4 additional people that would be hitting our supplies. And on top of it, the people that we're coordinating with in a SHTF situation should have their own supplies, and they say they do. How much or how well would they like it if we just brought 4 additional people in? Well, it's nice having an engineer. It would be really nice to have a eye doctor or some type of doctor. Well, I don't think the other members that we're coordinating with for SHTF would be very happy with us bringing 4 people along and tapping into everybody's food supply. So that's just really not an option. My parents, well, my dad's dead. He died in 2005, but he was a Marine and served during Vietnam. My mom, she's got some serious medical problems. She's on disability because of them, rheumatoid arthritis, severe case of it. I mean, beyond severe case, anyway. So just going from that aspect, that would be a huge drain on the resources. Also, my stepdad, he is pretty much a libtard, and very stubborn, very argumentative, and he can barely walk. He's had several knee injuries and back surgery and some knee surgeries and a shoulder surgery. So he's pretty much disabled too, even though he's working full time. And he would be a serious drain on resources. And he just has the attitude of like he expects to be taken care of. But so the personalities would just not work. And on top of it, like I said before, They would be on their own. Can't even get them to prepare for a 3-day outage if an earthquake hits, or a 4-day outage because of a natural disaster. So it would seriously hinder myself and the other people that we're coordinating with for SHTF. So we would pretty much have, if they did come, we would have my mom and stepdad, who were pretty much unable to do any type of physical work just because of their current health conditions. Then we have the 2 nephews who are young, and we have my brother and his wife. They're physically able to work and healthy as oxes. Then we have my wife and myself. So bringing 4 extra people along, maybe even 6, would just not work. Our food supply would be diminished before we could even get any type of crops in the ground and supply our own food. So just not feasible. And on top of it, I hate saying this, but my family and I don't really have that great of a relationship. Love my mom dearly, talk to her all the time, and willing to do anything for her to help her out with her rheumatoid arthritis. So on the other hand, my brother and I rarely talk, and we pretty much communicate through text messages. So I don't know. It's a very tough question, but wife and I have decided if like the grid goes down for any length of time, we're out of here, and we're not really close with our family, so we're out of here, and they're going to be on their own, and it's just kind of the way it is. But there's a good book that I read, changing the subject here a little bit, that kind of goes into this a little bit, which is good and makes one think. The book is called Patriots by James Wesley Wallace. It's a good book. I'm about just 45% of the way through the book, and it talks about this and discusses it, and it's good. It brings up a lot of topics, and it brings up what happens in an SHTF situation. So get it, read it. It has a lot of good info in it, and it goes on to some of these topics that really make you think. And the book's good. It's easy reading. Gets technical. Really goes into detail on weapons and so forth, and how they set up their retreat and so forth and so on. I'm not going to get into it all about the book, but get it, read it. It gives good tips and good pointers. So I'm not saying it's the Bible of all the books to read about survival, but it's one of many that you should read, and it might, you might think of some ideas off of it too. So anyway, that's my answer. It's a tough question. I mean, my wife and I have discussed it, and at length, and we both have come to the conclusion. We've warned them. We've tried to get them to prepare, even just for a basic natural disaster, and they refuse to. So it's on them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So this is my response to his video. And I don't know. As for the other members that we're coordinating with for SHTF, we've stocked up a little bit extra for them just in case they've forgotten something or need something. We've put a little extra aside for them, but not enough for 6 people to come join us, and especially with 2 of them disabled physically. And hate sounding like I'm cold-hearted, but they need to get out of their libtardness and really realize what's going on, and just be prepared for the smallest little earthquake or small natural disaster. So that's on them, and I really don't feel bad about it, because we've tried to help them. We've told them, have 3 days worth of water. I get the response, oh, we got a couple cases of water in the garage. Well, guess what? A case of water is equivalent to about 2.5 gallons of water. That's going to last you maybe a day or 2. Then what about your food? Okay? So this is the type of mentality I'm dealing with. I have the mentality of like, oh, we have canned food out in the garage. And I've actually, I think I've typed up a really long document, and I've posted it into a couple of the groups that I'm members of on Facebook. And it's just like, take all your food, put it on the counter, subtract the expired food, and divide by how many people you think you're going to have living with you at that time. and go from there. And I just get stupid answers, and I just given up on them. I don't do well with, stupid people, and by no means are they stupid, but they're sure acting dumb. So there's really no right answer to this. That's just our plan. XCR 375 H&H Mag signing off.